Happy Juneteenth, everybody. I'm Richard Fontana, NYSDOT Special Assistant to Commissioner Dominguez. Very excited to be here today as we make another announcement, a major announcement regarding the Kensington Expressway project. Here to make that announcement is our Commissioner, Therese Dominguez. Commissioner?
Thank you very much. All right. How's everybody doing? All right. My name is Therese Dominguez. I have the honor of serving as Commissioner of the New York State Department of Transportation. And I just want to thank everybody for joining us today. It's a beautiful, beautiful summer day here in Buffalo. And on behalf of Governor Hochul, our sincere thanks to the incredible partners who have joined us today as we talk about the advancement of this significant project that we're doing on the Kensington. First and foremost, let me say thank you to Senator Tim Kennedy. He is the chairman of the Senate Transportation Committee, and we have the great pleasure of working with him on matters large and small across the state. And he's a great advocate, not just for Buffalo, but across the state for transportation. I also want to take a moment and thank our incredible and esteemed Assembly Majority Leader, Crystal Peoples-Stokes. She is not only a longtime proponent and advocate for this community, but she is truly some of the muscle and the mind behind the advancement of this work. And we are very, very grateful to work with both the Senator and the Majority Leader and their teams as we move this forward. But I also want to thank the stalwart advocate in all of this, and that is Stephanie Jeter. Stephanie, thank you very much. As many of you know, Stephanie is not just a resident of the community, but truly a reflection of the lived history that's here in East Buffalo. It's through her advocacy, the advocacy of the Rock, the advocacy of a number of stakeholders that have brought so many issues to the table that we're now working to try and address as part of this project. And that's really done in collaboration, not just with the elected officials, but all the residents here. And Governor Hochul has told us time and again that outreach, collaboration, engagement with the community are the fundamental principles that we operate under. And so that's how we've been able to progress this project and working in collaboration with the community to get us here. So as everybody remembers, in January of 2022, Governor Kathy Hochul announced a significant investment of up to $1 billion for a transformative project here in East Buffalo, fundamentally reconnecting the former Humboldt Parkway, which was originally designed by Frederick Law Olmsted. This is a project that the community has been asking for over a decade, and one that Governor Kathy Hochul made real. And I cannot think of a more appropriate day, today, Juneteenth, to talk about how we are fundamentally advancing this transformative project for the benefit of the city of Buffalo, but most especially for the residents of East Buffalo. Since Governor Hochul first announced that New York State is investing in advancing this project, an enormous amount of work has taken place. And we're here today to talk about some of those key investments and how they're coming along. Key to the process has been community engagement. NYSDOT has a community outreach office located here, right here, at the Fellowship World Church, which is adjacent to MLK Park. We're dedicated not just to engaging, but fundamentally listening to and responding to the community as we develop the various aspects of this project. We've been working diligently with the stakeholders, meeting regularly. It's been a sharing of ideas, and most importantly, listening to the community and responding. So based on this engagement, the community has put forward some ideas that we've been able to translate directly into new proposals that we think are going to not only enhance the safety, but more importantly, the quality of life of the citizens in this area and the citizens in this neighborhood. And that's what we're here to talk about today. How can we continue to listen and learn and make this project the best it possibly can be? At tomorrow's public information meetings, which we're hosting, one starting at 11 o'clock and the other one starting at 4 o'clock at the Buffalo Science Museum, folks are going to see some of these new ideas that we're bringing forward, that New York State DOT is bringing forward. And again, it's all based on the public input we've received. It's why we've asked you to come join us here on East Utica Street. This is a City of Buffalo street, and we really want to make sure that these new ideas are being brought forward in a constructive way. One of the things that's been raised by the community is the condition of the roads that are surrounding the 33. Primarily, as I said, they're under the jurisdiction of the City of Buffalo, but they really are the heart and soul in many ways of the project because they're streets that people live on. The heart of this project is reuniting both sides of what is now the 33 and improving the quality of life for the residents in these neighborhoods. So as part of our proposed changes to the project, we're proposing to expand our investment in the roads in and around the project limits of the Kensington. We'll be milling and repaving over 9 miles of neighborhood streets that fall within the project limits between Wohlers Avenue and Fillmore Avenue, from Genesee and High Streets on the south to Northland Street on the north side. And you can see right here on this map that Richie Fontana is pointing to here, all the yellow, that's that fundamentally is the area that we're looking at in terms of the paving and sidewalk work. This neighborhood enhancement project, which the residents have asked for, will also address some of the sidewalks within the project limits. While some of the sidewalks are good, others, like the one here on East Utica Street, are in need of a little bit of love and attention, and that's what the focus is here. So if there's a need to enhance or reconstruct these sidewalks, we're going to do that. We're also going to do the same for driveway aprons. We're also going to look at lighting, ramps that comply with the making sure that all the ramps also comply with the Americans with Disabilities Act, so people fundamentally have walkable, livable, transit-oriented areas to be here in their neighborhood. We're also going to look at traffic signals and landscaping. This project is fundamentally all about quality of life and improving quality of life for the residents in these surrounding neighborhoods. So expanding our work to the adjacent neighborhoods only makes sense. It only makes sense to expand the work that we're doing on the Kensington itself, on the 33, to the adjacent neighborhoods. Everyone wants to be able to enjoy this incredible neighborhood. There's so much history here. Let's make the area more livable, more walkable. Let kids be able to ride their bicycles safely on these streets, and make sure that they've got good sidewalks and good connectors. All of this is achievable with this kind of neighborhood investment. We also need to look at the traffic impacts that are here in the area. And one of the proposals that we're looking at is adding a roundabout alternative that widens Best Street, in addition to the previously discussed signalized intersection concept that we had proposed last year. And if you look down at the end board over here, you can see this is what the roundabout could be in terms of a rendering of what it would actually look like at Best Avenue. This would take away a signalized intersection and make it free-flowing, providing walkable, bikeable access across yet another area of this neighborhood. So based on public input, we've also removed the 15-foot center utility corridor from our original design for this project. This is going to reduce the overall width of the tunnel underground that's going to move the traffic, while we actually look at putting a tree-lined top and fundamentally connecting the community. We've done an enormous amount of work this year, and I just want to thank the team here at New York State DOT. Folks have really put a lot of effort into thinking and redesigning and rethinking and talking and listening to the community, but just recognizing we still have a lot more work to do. This is just still basically in the beginning half of our work. We're driving towards expeditiously advancing this project. This is all part of the environmental process. But again, tomorrow, NYSDOT is going to be hosting 2 public information meetings at the Buffalo Science Museum of Science. It's a chance for the public to come and learn more about the details of what we're presenting here, ask questions about these proposed elements. But again, we're going to be listening. We're going to be taking notes, we're going to be capturing people's comments, and we're going to be acting and hearing what we hear from the community and incorporating them into the project as we move forward. And just like we've done these many months, we're going to do that in collaboration with the community, because we really want to truly develop a successful path forward. At the end of the day, the governor, I can tell you, and I as commissioner are determined to bring the absolute best project forward. And we can only do that if we continue to collaborate with the community. The Kensington Expressway's original construction fundamentally sliced through the heart of East Buffalo. It created divisions. It left scars. Our goal is to repair and heal this wound so that the residents of East Buffalo, those who live here today, and future generations will not just live here, but thrive here. Thank you all very much.
Here to take the microphone is our Majority Leader, Crystal People-Stokes. Crystal.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I am more than honored to be here today. In fact, whenever the commissioner is in town and she brings her team with her and she brings these sort of displays, I'm going to be in the space. So those of you who are not holding any things in your hand right now, if you could just give the commissioner and her team right here a super hand of applause, because they have done yeoman's work. You know, very often with bureaucracies, people will decide what they think you need and they will come and provide it for you. What this team has done under the leadership of our governor, Kathy Hochul, is start with the community. Yes, you knew what ROC had already planned. Yes, you know what our ancestors had already been working on. Some of them are now gone on. They have been working on this. But it's time to hear from the community who actually still does live and work on the east side of Buffalo. Still does live on the east side of Buffalo. And the opportunity to cover the 33 in these portions will allow streets to do exactly what Utica does. When it crosses the 33, it goes all the way over to Fillmore. Many streets this way do not do that. You can go down it one way, but you gotta turn around and go back the other way if you want to get across. And this is going to reconnect the community in amazing ways. So I want to give God all the glory for the opportunity to be here. And by the way, happy Juneteenth. Yes. Happy Juneteenth. Yes. I'm happy to share in today's announcement with my friends from the New York State Department of Transportation, Commissioner. The expressway project boundary has been expanded. And extra 600 feet to Sydney Street. That's really huge from the original plan. It was originally East Ferry, so now we're talking Sydney. That is, I mean, it's just huge, it's beyond measure. And it gets us towards closer to the Olmsted vision. Today's announcement, let me say this, the traffic congestion on Best Street overpass will tentatively be addressed by widening Best Street and installing roundabouts to replace the 3 existing traffic lights. I really like that. Now, you know, you heard the commissioner mention that there's going to be a meeting tomorrow. And for the community who has not shown up or who has been at every meeting, please go and voice your opinion on this. Just because I like it, that doesn't mean everybody's going to like it. But I think that's phenomenal, those roundabouts on Best Street. And I hope that it happens in my lifetime. Today's announcement is another win for surrounding neighborhoods and residents. As we anticipate streetscape enhancements, it is yet another reason for residents to attend tomorrow's public meeting and learn more about this transformational project. These community infrastructure improvements will be made between Wolders Avenue and Fillmore Avenue, from Genesee Street to High Street to Northland. That's a significant portion of the east side of Buffalo where residents have always lived and worked that will make their quality of life that much better. I'm so excited about it. The work includes streets will be milled and overlaid with new asphalt, sidewalks and ramps, and driveway aprons will be replaced and upgraded as needed to meet ADA compliance and enhance pedestrian mobility and safety. You don't remember decades ago when we, as a country, approved the ADA compliance. I actually called that a curb cut effect, because ADA compliance adds value to a lot of other areas in life. There are women who push little carts to the supermarket. There are women who push baby strollers. They use these curb cuts as well. It makes it easier for them to be accessibly get around. We're going to have additional locations like that in our community, which will add huge value. Street lighting and traffic signals will be upgraded as needed. New grass and trees. Can't have enough trees. Cannot have enough trees in an environment that will add value to the people's capacity to breathe. Can't have enough trees. We urge everyone to visit between 11 a.m. and 2, 5 p.m. and 8 at the Science Museum to learn more about the rock project, review progress that has been made, and provide your feedback on further refinement. This project is going from good to better to best. It's time to go. Let's go. I have the opportunity now, I'm sure Mr. Fontana would love to do it, but I would love to do it as well, because this gentleman plays such an integral part in my life as a Assembly Majority Leader, because he's the guy in the Senate who makes things happen over there. Nothing happens in Albany without both houses taking action. I am solid in the fact that actions that I take on the behalf of people that I represent on the east side of Buffalo are always going to be also taken up in the Senate, because my brother, from another mother, Senator Kennedy, is in the Senate and the chair of the Transportation Committee. Senator.
Thank you. Well, Madam Leader, to God be the glory.
All the glory belongs to God.
We have been blessed with this spectacular day on Juneteenth. Happy Juneteenth, everyone. And what an announcement to celebrate Juneteenth, this monumental investment in our community. Let me start in my gratitude and thanks where we left off to my friend and leader, Majority Leader Crystal Peoples-Stokes. And we talk about partnerships in Albany, bringing it home, taking care of our community. And you've heard me say this before, if not many times, nothing happens in Albany without Majority Leader Crystal Peoples-Stokes' fingerprints on it. And that is a great thing for Buffalo. She's helping to bring it home. Let's hear it again for our Majority Leader. To Governor Hochul and her leadership, and our Department of Transportation Commissioner, Therese Dominguez, who I have worked very closely with over the last several years. Commissioner, thank you to you, to your team. As has already been mentioned, you know, the fact that the Department of Transportation yet again tomorrow at the Science Museum in the heart of the community is having another opportunity for the community to come and be heard on this project is a telling description on how we want this project to go. This is a community-driven project from start to finish. And as you've heard the Commissioner mention and the Majority Leader mention already, this project is all about the community. And today we're expanding the scope and the breadth of this project right into the residents, side streets, commercial districts, all throughout the scope of this project as it's expanded, where the new Complete Streets program that we have in New York State are going to take root right here, where we're going to have new sidewalks, new streetscapes, new lighting, new crosswalks, new bike lanes, all of the amenities that our community will be proud of, that will make this more walkable, livable, all throughout the east side of Buffalo. I want to recognize my colleague in government as well, Legislator Howard Johnson, who's working with us each and every day, and thank him for his leadership. I've had the true honor and privilege to serve as the chair of the Transportation Committee for the last 5 years in the majority in the Senate. In those 5 years, the amount of funding we've brought to the city of Buffalo has multiplied by 256% from 2018 for our local roads. And with the majority leader's help, this year alone from last year, another 25% increase alone from last year. Over $20 million for our roads throughout the city of Buffalo. We are so proud to be able to deliver these funds, but it's important that the community's voice is heard on how these funds are brought into the community and how those are expended. And this project alone, in the 5-year capital project budget, $1 billion coming to Buffalo. Think about that, $1 billion, which would go somewhere else in the state of New York, but it's coming to Buffalo. And it's because of this team that stands here before you that's bringing it home. And we want to make sure that the community's voice is heard in implementing those funds and making this the most magnificent project for economic justice, for environmental justice, for racial and social justice, and be a model for the rest of the nation to be proud of. And I'm so excited to be a part of it. And this would not be happening but for the woman I'm going to introduce now, who I have the privilege to have named my woman of distinction in New York State just a month ago, Stephanie Barber Jeter, who has done so much work for decades in our community to bring this project home, to make it a reality. Let's hear it for the heartbeat, the anchor, and the leader that we all follow, Stephanie Barber Jeter. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Senator. I know you do nothing alone, right?
All right, Stephanie.
And so you do everything with someone, right? So Zanetta, I wanted you to get, today is National International Help Your Teenager Get Their Driver's License Day. So could you ask my goddaughter to get out of the car and come over here and come with us so that, because you know what? All of this is about them, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
25 years from now, they will talk about what we were doing to make this a better place, right? So, I mean, Crystal and others say, you know, and I've said it too, will it happen in my lifetime? Well, I know a couple people whose lifetime it will be important. They will not remember the mistakes that were made because they'll live in a better community. I want to tell you that I am bowled over. That this is such a shaking surprise to me. So you know we're going to cover the Humboldt. We were solid with that. I mean, I can't tell you how long I've been screaming and hollering hallelujah. But then I got out here today and I seen this. These are where the people in this community mostly live. There are about 150 families along the parkway, but the rest of us live here. This is such an awesome both gift and signifies that we matter. I have to tell you that most of our streets are poorly lit. Many of our streets are only half occupied with homes, because when you disinvest in a community, you rob it often of the best and most prosperous citizens. That happened over a 40-year period. This lot right here had 3 houses. Those families are gone, as you can see. This represents such a hope. And that from the list, I gotta tell you, it's a whole lot of money. This is a big. I had to look at the money people back there and then to the DOT people. I mean, and so I want to just pause and say for 1 minute, we started working with DOT about 15 years ago. They'll agree, it was hard, it was tough. It was just tough, it was tough. They're in the business of moving vehicles. I think they will now tell you that they are in the business of reuniting neighborhoods. And so I applaud all you guys, because I know it was hard, right? I know they had to hear us, but it wasn't so hard. It wasn't that bad. I want to thank, look, I don't know about y'all, but when someone brings this amount of investment to us, it says we matter, right? And if that's significant, it says to our children and our future children that they matter. All children must matter, right? All communities and neighborhoods must matter. This, look at this, y'all. Y'all gotta see all these houses and these trees and these streets. This is significant. When you can say that you hear us, Commissioner, come up here. When you say you hear us, you know, at first I didn't know what that meant, you hear us, but now I know. You heard us. Thank you. Thank you from the bottom of our heart. They told me don't invite anybody. I wish I did. I had somebody to cry with. But my goddaughter, Zariah, who is, well, yeah, Zariah. She's getting her driver's license, y'all. And she's graduated with honors, and she is going to Buff State for a ride. And so we have let Zariah know she can never sell our house. She's got to always live here till her grandchildren release her from this. And I'm glad. Thank you, Zariah, for just being an inspiration. This is big, people. I mean, come and see our plan tomorrow. I think you're gonna like it, right? It's got it all going on. And if it's something you think that we've missed or that we just straight out got it wrong, tell us. Okay, tell us. We already know the one thing that some people would like to have it filled in, and we could sit down and give you an hour-long conversation on why that got tossed. But look at the rest of it and tell us what you think. Thank you all, all of you. DOT office.
There you go, Stephanie. Thank you so much. I don't touch the lens. Here's a gentleman coming up to the podium right now that gets a lot of neighborhood complaints about sidewalks, as do Council President Pridgeon, and Mr. Wingo is County Legislator Howard Johnson.
Thank you. And as Mr. Fontana said, yes, we do get a lot of complaints. The number one conversation in my office is always the streetscape. What's going to happen? What are we doing about the streetscape? Well, today, when those conversations occur going forward, I know what to tell them. I know where to point them. I know what to say, hey, this is happening. This is important for our community. This project right here is going to be a game changer, and I'm excited. It will happen in my lifetime. I'm going to still be around for it. Even if it's an additional 70 years, I'm going to still be around for it. I'm claiming it right now. But this is huge, and we couldn't get this done without the collaboration and work of ROC, State DOT, our governor. But, you know, the leadership portion I want to speak about is Tim Kennedy and Majority Leader. This doesn't get done if they're not there. This doesn't get done if they're not advocating, asking, and pushing the right buttons. To me, I said when the governor was elected, there was a perfect storm. Now we're starting to see the results of that storm. Thank you.
Mayor Brown sends his wishes as well. He's very supportive of this project, as you well think he should be and will be. Also, Commissioner of Public Works sends his well wishes as well. Folks, at this time, Commissioner Dominguez and our Chief Engineer and Designer, Nick Chuba, will be taking questions here at the podium. Thank you for coming.
Sure. So let me just contextualize where we are right now. So we're engaged in a very robust environmental assessment, and this is part of that assessment. So part of it is literally a year ago, we had a public meeting here at this Buffalo Science Museum and got a lot of public input. We've been having continuous engagement meetings with stakeholders. Like I said, we have an outreach office here in the neighborhood. We were at the Juneteenth festivities over the weekend. We're trying to engage with the community as often and as frequently as we can so that we can get feedback. And what we're seeing here is a reflection of that feedback that we've received to date. We're going to continue the environmental process, working towards another public meeting, which will be held later this fall. We're looking at doing a public hearing in the fall of 2023. And all of that will lead ultimately to a final environmental assessment, which will ultimately make recommendations to the Federal Highway Administration on how we should move forward with this project.
Commissioner,
Commissioner, there have been concerns from the public about the price tag for this and comparing it to the Rochester Inner Loop. They filled that in for $30+ million. This is $1 billion for less than a mile of road. Can you talk about why the fill-in method was discontinued so quickly for this project?
Do you want to talk about it? Okay.
Again, when we started this project, we had goals and objectives, and one of the objective was to the major objective is to reconnect the community, create a livable community like the commissioner had indicated. The second piece was to maintain the transportation link. So this is balancing the need of the community, but also at the same time maintaining the transportation need that exists on the Kensington. I mean, the Kensington today carries approximately 80,000 cars. So it was a balancing between reconnecting the community and preserving that link. And that's what we're proceeding forward. The outcome will be a tunnel that will be built, but also with today's announcement, the expansion of the work on the local network that will enhance the community livability and also multimodal, the pedestrians, the bicycles, the walking individuals. So that's what we have today.
Did any conversations with the NFTA happen about expanding light rail as part of this project as well?
No, not specifically to this particular project, but obviously the light rail proposals that NFTA is advancing as part of the larger transportation framework for the city and for Western New York. Our dates have remained the same, so we're looking to actually put a shovel in the ground by the end of 2024. So once we come to the conclusion of the environmental process, then we actually have to do additional work, not only on putting the contract together that's actually going to be able to start construction, but it takes time to do that, and we need some additional approvals. So that's the timeline.
Commissioner, beyond the ADA ramps, I'm wondering if there are any additional safety features that are going to be put in for people with disabilities, like verbalized crosswalks where you walk across the street and it says, now crossing.
Yeah. We're going to look at all of that, basically because as the majority leader was talking about, this is a neighborhood. You've got people of all abilities and disabilities that we want to make sure that we accommodate. So there's a lot of advancement in signal technology, and so we'll be looking at what some of those features are and how we can best accommodate.
We're already seeing houses and parcels in this neighborhood bought out by out-of-town LLCs, developers, things like that. How can you protect the community from these potential developers who are looking to squat on land until this is done and then sell it at upshelf moving forward?
I think that's what's important about the engagement that we're doing directly with the community, because you've got a lot of advocacy here from the elected representatives, and I know Governor Hochul as well, to make sure that the community is helping design what the future of the actual neighborhood is. So while the investment in the transportation portion is significant and it definitely leads to opportunities, we want to make sure that the community here, the neighborhood here, best benefits from the investment. And so how that moves forward will help be determined by local leaders and how they design that. But we have to do it in collaboration. So I just want to be really clear. Part of what we're trying to do is make sure that we work directly with the community so that everybody understands what the transportation programs are, and then how the community wants to leverage the remaining investment opportunities. Oh.
Sir, just the media for now, sir.
Okay.
Any other media questions, folks?
Commissioner, I know you were saying the city of Buffalo obviously handles these streets typically. Are they on board with the DOT taking care of this, coming in, and will there be a need of additional funding on top of what already has been procured to accomplish this?
I'm going to say an initial yes, because we've been collaborating with the city all along on this project. But then there will be additional work, and we do that in conjunction with the city. Anything else you want to add?
No, the city is on board. We've been coordinating the effort with them. Again, the traditional way of requesting record plan information they have, because like the commissioner indicated, they own the street, so they have the infrastructure information that we need to build that proposal. So we've been working with the city, and the proposed work is included in the project cost.
Perhaps I missed it early on. What is the estimated cost for the announcement today?
I don't have a breakout of the actual street costs, but it's all part of the overall. We have up to $1 billion for this project.
Any concern about being able to get construction workers for this project? We've got a stadium build, a Centennial Park. There's a lot of big projects that have to get completed in the next few years.
I can tell you it's a great problem to have, right? We've got a lot of we've got a lot of great infrastructure work being done in the city of Buffalo, and I can tell you that it's one of the things that we're trying to advance with this project, and we've incorporated it very purposefully, is to have a local hire provision. We've done this in other parts of the state, certainly in Syracuse with the 81 project. It's something that nationally not a lot of communities have taken on, not a lot of state DOTs have, but I can tell you New York State DOT is taking it on, and we want to make sure that people that live here in the city of Buffalo get to work on this project.
For residents who can't attend tomorrow, are there other ways that they can interact with the DOT?
Yes, we've got a website. You can provide comments, and there'll be multiple ways. If you just go to the project website, and actually you can come to our community center and literally provide comments directly to folks. Our team here is standing rather solar, ready, willing, and able to take comments at any point in time. Yes, ma'am.
Can I just say a word? First of all, I really would like the press to understand that this is a process that was driven by community, okay? So I know that's kind of unthought of, but even though now we've moved a little bit behind the scene, we've been out front for a long time. So our name, Restore Our Community Coalition, has defined not just the road Humboldt Parkway being restored as a cornerstone of this project and all that that means to us. So no, we don't have all the workers lined up or the companies that look like me lined up, but we're lining them up. We have a community committee working on bringing together contractors from across this country if we have to. We are focused on the protection of homes, filling in 100 gaps where houses are missing, putting storefronts back on Fillmore and on Jefferson. Behind the scenes, things we're not talking about, which we actively work on each day, is how this community will look for those of us who live here. We have a group of about 30 neighborhood leaders who work on this with no lift up. Okay, so part of the answer to this is government and its role, and they've come to the table straight up. And we are coming to the table. As a community of people, we believe it's our responsibility to hold government, the private sector, the public sector that's not government, and others to a task of helping us restore a significant community. The conditions that existed that allowed that top shooting to happen still are here. We will change it collectively, led by our citizens and supported by our government and the private sector. Thank you, sir. I appreciate the question.